How to remove Suzuki emblem in the front. First use a blow dryer to heat up the emblem. Then I used a card because it was very hard to put this dental floss in between because it didn't want to bend like I want. So now I use this card. I think this is a better way to start it. Let's see. So now I add the dental floss. And I gently remove the card. There's an additional carbon look emblem. And now let's start to work. Place it there. Hope this shows. And then just gently work your way through this ID. So the dental floss just snapped. It's apparently quite hard for a dental floss to make it through. See with the card, I reach it again. Let's see what we can do. Perhaps you should do it more gentle. What you do with this dental floss, you create both heat as well as friction. And now again, you see it's hard to get it around. So again, I will use this plastic card to make some more room. At least I will try. See if I can put it in there a bit. Hope it will. Yes. It did work. Only thing is, I let it slip through. So again, breaching it a little bit with the dental floss. Remove card. Now it should be able to make the turn. And also now, probably gently use your nails, but also reapply some heat. So the additional heat can help cut through the resistant glue a bit easier. That's the idea, at least. I think this little card thing has even more effect than that dental floss has. I'm trying to make it at least. Well, we can always try. Again, dental floss has been corrupted. So use some more. Get some additional dental floss in. If you apply too much force, it will probably break the dental floss again, as you can see. This is not as big of a success as I anticipated. Normally, this dental floss thing works pretty good, but this emblem has some additional protection from the surroundings, which make it a lot harder. Because it's harder, you need harder meshes. As can be seen, this card makes short work of it. So there you go. Card John has done his job. Back to the video. Here was the original emblem. It's now lying here. Also the replacement emblem if we need it. It's more carbon look. As you can see, you still need to remove the residue here to make it as clean as possible. I hope we have a little bit of chance here to get it a little bit more in one piece. That would be great. So stay tuned. So again, plastic card that I used might prove beneficial next to the glue gun. Also let the blow gun, the heat gun, cool off a little bit sometimes, otherwise you might be overheating it. It's not only turbines that can overheat. What I attempt to do is to pull off everything in a big chunk instead of just going to small bits all the time. The other way, I thought you can also just keep the glue in there, because at the front it doesn't really matter that there's some additional glue, because she will just glue over it. But yeah, let's make it a clean effort now. If this card is overstressed too much, I'll try to get something else. If you're working with this and you don't have this type of red card that I have here, you can also use an old, how do you call this? An old credit card or something like that. What I now have is a little bit of a scraper. This is more for harsher attempts to do it. Drawback of a titanium scraper, of course, is that you can more easily scratch. But I try to use an angle that doesn't scratch that much. Benefit is that you can, of course, use the scraper. I have a separate video about this apply a lot more pressure, and also it will not deform with the heat that much as the plastic one will. Perhaps this little scraper is even better suited than the plastic card I started with, also to begin with. Why is that? You can apply more pressure, you have a little bit bigger chance of removing it in one piece, instead of just walking through all the small pieces. But yeah, we will see how this is turning out. So I'm attempting to show is that it can be done also with relatively simple tools, but it does take some time to do it. Some people will tell you it's extremely easy, and there are some things that can help you, something that can dissolve the glue, for example, a chemical. But please be wary, because what is dissolving your glue might very well also dissolve your paint. So this indeed not the fastest removal you have seen, but you can see. But it's a safer way to do it with just heat and friction, in my opinion. More heat. What they often use to help you get this paint off is, for example, household pieces like nail polish remover, but nail polish also paint, so it will also help remove other parts. Like your original car paint, which I don't recommend at all, of course. I'll show you the in-between results. As you can see, it's now a lot better, of course, but still quite some residue needs to be removed. Also a closer look to the tool. So a little titanium scraper, and just use this to be flat with the surface there, and then you can amplify pressure, of course. So I tried to make it a little bit cleaner, but in my opinion, the most of the gains have already been made, and you will not see this small residue parts that much. You won't see them at all. So therefore you can also just put a new one on and be done with it. Which is far more time efficient, of course. Well, I will walk through it now a little bit more and then call it a day. Another benefit of not using this nail remover or alternatives that you don't have to remove everything, because you don't have something that is removing paint or anything else left as a residue, which halts the fixation of the new glue. This is the end result in a bit. Now we can apply the new one. Here's the glue. I think the glue is even weighing more than this symbol does. For the weight reduction experts there. So the old emblem, the new emblem, just has a peel layer that you can remove and then put it into the place that you want it to be, which we are going to do now. So it will fit like this as an end result. That's the idea at least. Ah, so I'm feeling now it will be a very snuggle, tight fit. But here goes nothing. I think this emblem is a little bit bigger. Yes, this. A little bit bigger than the original one. So that could prove quite tricky. So what does it mean? It will not fit. Let's shoot. And now what I'm doing is pushing it in as well as possible, of course. I think this emblem is dead off. It's quite a pity. Quite a pity. It's a bit too big. big. That's a pity, real pity. See if I can stick it back in, and if so, can perhaps attempt to file away a little bit, which gives it a better chance of sticking, but this is of course not what you want to start with. So what has happened, they made a mold, but made it a little bit too big. So I put the tape back on, and let's see if I can work my magic by filing it a little bit into submission, but this will be a hard job and not what I wanted to show you. So back to where we started. What is wrong? We tried to make this carbon look front instead of the silvery Suzuki one, but what they did is they made it a little bit different in size. It's quite hard to show you now, but as you can see, for example, below, there's some additional things that the carbon has in size compared to the original one, which need to be solved. These regions are a lot tighter than these. That's the main problem. So we'll attempt to make a little bit more room and hope that helps. I file down to make it more look like that, using this small file, this multi-tool, especially this diamond file pattern, and let's see if it fits now. Now it has a far better fit. I'm not knowing if it has the necessary perfect fit, but I will try now. Of course it still doesn't have the exact dimension, but I hope that I made some more room, which enables me to just fit it like I wanted to do in the first place. So again, removing the sticker protection. Appears the case that also the points are too long now. I'm seeing some better fitment, far better fitment than that before. This thing still have to work around these points at least. So yet another attempt to make it stick better, to make it fit. All this can be prevented if they make these things the way they should be made, so ready to fit. This time we will take off some of the points and hope this is enough. So back to the drawing board again. So as you can see here, there are some points and I tried to make them less sharp. See if that works. It will take a lot. I now filed away these points at all directions. I hope this has a better fit now. I think the fit is better than it has ever been before. So I will attempt again to make it stick. I hope this is the last time to do so. Well, it appears to be a well done job. So even if they give you something that is non-functional, as you saw me demonstrating you can still make it work with some craftsmanship, determination and grit. What I'm doing now is pushing extremely hard without trying to break everything, so I give resistance also with my fingers in the frame where I put all the pressure on. And what I try to do is make as much contact area as possible to give the glue a good way of pushing itself to all the contact area and gluing itself. So this is the end product. Back again. Yeah, the end product. So even with all the hard work on it, so you see the carbon. And there you can also see the carbon now in the emblem. Down to it, it still looks very nice. I made a good angulation with the filing, so it doesn't appear that much at the front, but still I could do the work that was needed. So you hear the glue now. I will keep some pressure on it as long as I can to give it the best way of fitting.